Hi, welcome to the second episode of the Auroville Files. Now, if you research on any kind of project or any kind of information or any kind of place, the first thing is that you have to research the history of Auroville. That's because only the past governs the present, and the present will govern the future. So the actions of the past has led to what Auroville is today. There's a beautiful book which is being written on this. Now, when I was researching a lot about Auroville, I came across this book called as Auroville, The Dream Hijacked. It was written by Dr. Nirmalya Mukherjee, who is a PhD in Sri Aurobindo literature. Very well-renowned writer, and it's amazingly written. I know a lot of Aurovillians are going to be angry because I'm speaking about this book, and this book is something that Aurovillians did not want to be published. And they have been trolling about it also. I am not supporting what is written in the book, but what is written in the book actually gives you a lot of insights about what is happening in Auroville, how it all happened in 1988, 1975, and what is happening currently in 2019. Let me give you a couple of highlights of what is written in the book. That couple of foreigners who lived in India without visa for more than 8 to 10 years and got close to the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Indira Gandhi and even Rajiv Gandhi at that time, and were also close with CPN Kulkarni and Kirit Joshi, and did everything possible with bureaucratic pressure, with judiciary, everything possible to separate themselves from the Sri Aurobindo Society. So this is how in 1988, the Auroville Foundation Act was enacted. The book also states that these people, called as the Aurovillian rebels in the book, they drove away the ashramites, mostly Indians, from their own houses. They also manhandled a Madras High Court order and pushed the bearer of the order, who is also a court employee, out of Auroville. It also states that the ambassador of the German embassy was also manhandled by these people. The book also states that they wanted a society free from Sri Aurobindo's strict rules in a way, because at that time they wanted free sex and drugs, according to the book again. I also refer to this as the Woodstock movement, because there's a lot of connection between that also. Because during 1969, Woodstock was very famous and had really become a rage in the Western world. And these foreigners who came from abroad at that time came with that mindset and that culture. So they wanted a free Auroville. And they did everything possible to make Auroville what it is today. According to the book, the Aurovillian rebels also got funded by J.R.D. Tata. They did everything possible to ensure that law of the land is not applied at that time. Now, according to the book, the forerunner of these Aurovillian rebels was one Mr. Frederick. Yes, he's still alive. Mr. Frederick is called as the Mayor of Auroville. According to the Charter of Auroville, Auroville belongs to nobody in particular, but there is a mayor, and he is Mr. Frederick. He was the one who has pleaded in all the government documents in High Court and everything that he is a true Aurovillian and that he wants the mother's dream to be realized. And he wants to break free from Sri Aurobindo Society. Of course, he was successful. History is written by the victors, but evidences were not completely erased. And this book has a lot of evidences on the same. Well, this is what was written in Auroville News 50. This is the publication by the Aurovillian rebels, which states that they want Auroville to be an anarchist colony in India, which is free of rules, like how Vatican would be to Italy, Auroville would be to India. Yes, which means that their aim was to make an anarchist colony exactly like Kashmir was to India now. They wanted to do that to Auroville. Auroville Foundation Act, anyway, does not talk about any kind of autonomy, But although they still believe and they still practice everything in Auroville as if they are autonomous. Let me also point this out very clearly. There is no problem in being autonomous, but autonomy does not mean laws of the land, economic offenses, and other despicable criminal activities can happen under the shadow of autonomy. Book also states that there were three groups at that time, which was fighting over power and control in Auroville. One group was the Aurovillian rebels, who wanted to break free from the Sri Aurobindo Society. The other group was the Sri Aurobindo Society themselves, because it was their land. It was the land which they had purchased from the donations which they collected. So they were fighting. Then there was a third group. The third group were the neutrals. The neutrals were the people in Auroville who were extremely silent, and they really did not care about who wins. They just were happy in their own houses and leading selfish lives. When I don't care about what's happening in the world, what's happening in Auroville, let me take care of myself, my visa, and my housing. These neutrals are the ones who are called sheep in the present. When this battle was going on between Sri Aurobindo Society and the Aurovillian rebels, the Auroville Foundation Act was put in front of the parliament. Mr. L.K. Advani ji really contested against it. They also asked about the Kulkarni report, which was constituted by the complaints given by the Aurovillian rebels. This report, which talked about gross mismanagement of funds by Sri Aurobindo Society, which spoke about all kinds of corruption and donation frauds, was never made public. It was not even laid in front of the parliament. This book also states that a couple of DMK representatives were also against the bill. But at that time, the Congress had majority, and BJP and the other people who opposed the same walked out of the parliament. Can it be also inferred to what is happening currently in Kashmir? Isn't it that now BJP has the majority and Congress is walking out of the parliament? I really don't support any kind of political party, but the truth is the truth. This is exactly what happened historically. This is exactly what is happening in the present. And I'm just putting forth whatever information I have without any judgment, with Alien Bernard and other Aurovillians. Narasimha Rao in Auroville with Kirit Joshi and Frederick to his left. Honorable Shri Indira Gandhi with Frederick in Auroville. Now, this is an open question to the Aurovillian rebels. If you had charged Sri Aurobindo Society with CBI raids, with mismanagement of funds, donation frauds, and with those kind of allegations, and Mr. Kulkarni's report took over the entire operations of Auroville from the hands of Sri Aurobindo Society. Please also note that every CBI inquiry which was foisted on the Sri Aurobindo Society was made null and void by the courts, saying that there was absolutely no evidence in the same. All these things are written in the book. In the present, isn't there donation frauds? Isn't there mismanagement of funds? Aren't the Aurovillian rebels collecting donations in the name of Auroville and diverting it for other purposes? Then, Mr. Frederick, why are you silent? If you are charging people with such kind of allegations, what are you doing about it in the present? You're the forerunner. You're the one who made Auroville Foundation Act. Come on, take some responsibility. Now it's been 51 years since the Auroville rebels broke off Sri Aurobindo Society. My question is this: if the Aurovillian rebels, headed by Mr. Frederick, as written in the book, had so much of influence to go up to the Prime Minister, to move courts, to move the judiciary, and everything to his favor? Can it be inferred that he is really influential? It's a no-brainer, of course he is. My real question is this: why is this true Aurovillian, Mr. Frederick, then, been silent for 51 years of corruption by the working groups? What is the inference of it? If Mr. Frederick could drive out Indians from Indian soil, if he could break from Sri Aurobindo Society, if he had that much of clout, that much of power, doesn't he have the power to take care of Auroville? Doesn't he have the power to ensure that Auroville follows the principles for which it was founded? Nah, but then again, there is a more interesting chapter. Well, I came across this document. This is Oroson's registration certificate of a private land. Oroson is the son of Frederick. He is called the first son of Auroville. Isn't it a pride to be called the first son of Auroville? Should he not be a true Aurovillian? There is no private property holdings as an Aurovillian. My question is this, that why is the Mayor of Auroville, who has fought so much against Sri Aurobindo Society and has changed the system completely, not following the true principles of Auroville? Lawfully, how did the money come to purchase private properties, to hold luxurious weddings, which was just held recently, feed the entire Auroville? What is the source of the income? I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, these are the questions which are open to Mr. Frederick. I'm sure you're a good person. I'm sure a lot of people have spoken very good things about you. I want to know answers of the same. Please, in all due diligence, please comment in this YouTube section so that let's have an open discussion as to why, when you have been propagating and preaching Aurovillian concepts, why is it that you are not practicing the same? We really need to know. Please answer to the same. If the book is wrong, if I am wrong, if everyone else is wrong, what is the truth? Why is there silence? Why is there no transparency? Why are there no ethics? And why are there no principles of Auroville being followed by the same Aurovillians who are holding the power? The neutrals, which is written in the book in the past, have now become the sheep. The sheep of Auroville are the ones who are absolutely not bothered of what is happening in Auroville. They are only leading their own selfish lives for their own self. Me as an Indian, can I go to Germany on a voluntary visa and buy private property? Can I? Can I go to Germany if there was an Auroville in Germany and if the law stated that no private property for Aurovillians? Can I go to Germany and do that? Can I stay in any other country even one day without a visa? But India is more forgiving. For us, it is Atiti Devo Bhava, which means guest is God. For us, you are guests. For us, you are God, yes. But that doesn't mean we succumb to everything. That doesn't mean that we allow corruption on Indian soil and allow corruption on this beautiful project called Auroville. Please note that these videos are not to mar the entirety of Auroville, but to talk about the facts as it is. I really love Auroville, and there are a lot of good Aurovillians who have actually shown me the light when there was only darkness around 6 years ago for me. And I know the voice of these good Aurovillians are being suppressed. Of course, because the right of livelihood, the right of housing, the right of visas, that is citizenship in Auroville, is all in the hands of these corrupted people. And they will mold people and they will vindicate anyone who asks too many questions. This is exactly the present of Auroville. Why is this happening? Why is there so much of falsehood? Let's come out with the truth. The next episode, we're going to talk about land encroachments of central government land. Stay tuned for more. Well, I'm sure this was a very controversial video. but it had to be made. It had to be made public. People need to know the truth. And my only thing is that what are we going to do about this now? Now that we know about the past and the present, what are you going to do in the future? Are you going to still pull every string possible in the bureaucracy, judiciary, and every kind of pillars of the Democratic Republic of India? Or are you going to take onus and do what you're here for?